Good evening. It is October 11th, 2023. It is a Wednesday night. This is Legit Paranormal News brought to you by legitpodcast.com. I am now I'm back.
I'm Dreamy David Barr.
I'm Cyn Shrader Hill Author.
I'm Machine Mandy.
And now David for our top story.
Mike, our top
David.
story is going to bring us to England.
All right. So before you do that, though, let me just interrupt you real quick. Couple things. In my news, let's see. I fell again. This is now. I think I get to add 15 years to my age, or at least 20, because I've now fallen 4 or 5 times. I don't even have a medical alert bracelet. I just fall, and I should have one, I think, because I keep actually hitting my head. So David, I just wanted to go over this really quick with you guys. Top 15 Guinness Book of World Records. Longest fingernails on a pair of hands ever. Lee Redmond held this record until 2008 with her combined fingernail length reaching 8.65 meters. Now, for those of us that can't make the conversion from meters to inches and feet, like myself, I don't even know how long that is, but it's pretty long in meters. Most Big Macs eaten in a lifetime. Don Gorski. Now, that's a name that I could believe ate those burgers. Don Gorski ate over 30,000 Big Macs in his lifetime, earning him this unique record. Number 3, most snails on the face in 1 minute. Finn Keller set the record by placing 43 snails on his face within 20 seconds. I didn't even think that would be something that you could do. Longest time spent with scorpions. Kanchana Karawa lived in a room with 5,000 scorpions for 33 days, breaking the previous record.
Mike, I got to interrupt you there for a second.
Go ahead.
8 meters is 26 feet.
So almost a little bit more than 26 feet. Those are long fingernails. But Cyn, if your name is Kanchana Karawa and you live in a room with 5,000 scorpions for 33 days, breaking the previous record, you think it was intentional?
It wouldn't be with me.
That's what I'm saying. Most hula hoops spun simultaneously. Marwa Ibrahim managed to spin 160 hula hoops at the same time. He also earned his spot in the Guinness Book of Waste of Time. Total waste of time idiots. Longest distance pulled by a horse while on fire.
What?
Yeah, I just read it, and then the name just made me think. Never mind. Jason McConville was pulled by a horse for 472 meters while engulfed in flames. Now, 1, Dave, what is that in feet or miles? And 2, who was on fire? Was it him or the horse?
What was the measurement again, Mike?
472 meters. It says longest distance pulled by a horse while on fire. Still doesn't explain to me if it's him or the horse. Jason McConville was pulled by a horse for 472 meters while engulfed in flames. I guess the jury's out on whether or not you got to set the horse on fire and see if it can run or it's you. Largest collections of rubber ducks. Charlotte Lee from the UK amassed a collection of over 10,000 rubber ducks, or as we like to call it, hoarding. Most consecutive swords swallowed underwater.
Oh gosh.
Now, I'm not trying to be any of those bad things, but the name just stuck out with this one. Natasha Varushkala.
What the hell?
I know. I'm not making any jokes. There's nothing coming out of me. I'm just gonna say this again. Largest, most consecutive swords swallowed underwater. Natasha Varuskla set this record by swallowing 13 swords while submerged in a tank of water. Now, what do you do for a hobby where you end up thinking, this is the Guinness I want to break? This is me. I can do this. I do this all the time. Longest fart. Bernard Clemens. You know what? Bernard Clemens. That's exactly my point. Holds the record for the longest uninterrupted fart, which lasted 2 minutes and 42 seconds.
Wow.
I'm going to go on record and say that's not a fart at that long. That's like a medical problem. Yes.
And Mike,
yes.
472 meters is 516 yards.
What?
So little over 5 football fields.
So he set himself on fire and got dragged for 5 football fields.
Jeez.
But was he dead at the end? Is that how the record's set? You go until you burn? It's not like he hit 5 football fields and was like, all right, that's enough. And they just put him out. Like, I don't buy that one. All right. Most live rattlesnakes held in the mouth.
What?
No.
Jackie Bibby. Placed 11 rattlesnakes in his mouth. Oh, Jackie Bibby is a guy. Placed 11 rattlesnakes in his mouth, setting a dangerous record. Yeah, I would agree. Most tattooed individuals in a 24 hours by a single person. Hollis Cantrell tattooed 801 people within a 24-hour period.
That makes my
Wow.
head.
I'm just thinking smiley faces that are crooked.
Check marks.
Yeah, like but they're not even by the 400. They're not even circled. The largest gathering of people dressed as penguins. 2015, 624 people dressed as penguins gathered in London. Imagine you get a call and it's your friend and he's like, hey, we're gonna go break a world record. And you're like, yeah. And he's like, yep, dressed like a penguin. Meet me in downtown. Wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Wouldn't be my friend anymore. No. Most straws stuffed in the mouth. Simon Elmore fit 400 straws in his mouth, setting a record that's hard to beat. Or would anybody really want to try to beat that record? Does anybody really want?
Why?
I'm going to do 401 straws in my mouth. Like, that's my goal because I want to beat Simon Elmore. I got a poster of him up on my wall. Largest collection of rubber band balls. Largest collection of rubber band balls. I like it better that way. Joel Wall created a rubber band ball that weighed over 9,032 pounds.
Good Lord.
What? Largest
Why?
pumpkin. Yeah, no, I just don't. Largest pumpkin. The world's largest pumpkin weighed in at. You want to guess? Anybody want to guess how much the largest pumpkin ever weighed in at?
1,048.
Nope, higher than 1,048 pounds.
2,000 pounds.
A little higher than 2,000. Count Dreamy.
3.
A little bit below. 2,624.6 pounds was the largest pumpkin ever.
Wow.
The world's oldest man is Haim Kempler, who's 117 years old. The world's youngest person is Peggy Simpson. Nope. Jane Weathers. Nope. Rajay Singh. Nope. James Chan. Nope. Willie Jackson. Nope. Forget it. I'm not keeping up with this. It'll never work. David, over to you.
All right, we're going to the Outer Hebrides in the United Kingdom, where Stephanie Cranston, age 38, claims to have photographic proof of a centuries-old sailor's myth about men who haunt the waves looking for ships to sink. They're known as the Blue Men of the Minch. They're also known as storm kelpies. She was enjoying a day on the beach on the Isle of Lewis which is the largest island of the Outer Hebrides in the UK. She had her 2 sons and their father with her, and she claims to have had a premonition. She said, "I was at the beach with my family, and they were jumping in and out of the water. I've never felt uneasy, and I'm in the water a lot, but I kept telling them to get out. I felt uneasy about them being in there." And she was taking loads of pictures, and it wasn't until she got home and looked through them until one picture in particular stood out. She said the way that the sea is in the picture, you can look like a figure that's coming out of the water, kind of like this. She
The
said her
wave?
hair, huh?
The wave?
Yes. So she
So like,
saw,
so Neptune was flying in at her.
I guess so, or the blue men of the Minch.
Isn't
So
Mensch
she's-
like an old person?
Mensch is an old person. These are Minches, a little
All right.
different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I-
Okay. I'll write it down. Write it down.
She said she doesn't really believe in any stuff like that, but now that she caught this picture of one, she thinks it's absolutely crazy. So she was looking through her pictures, and this strange one stood out. And this happened around June 28th.
What's a Mensch?
I have a picture, so if I can share the screen.
But what is it? Does anybody else know what a Mensch?
So,
what a Mensch?
A Minch. All right, so their origin story is unclear. There are these creatures who roam the sea. They're looking for people to drown and ships to sink.
Like mermaids.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah,
Sirens.
so some say that they were originate from the Vikings around the 9th century. Others say that they're derived from the Tuareg people of Saharan Africa, who are also known as the Blue Men of the Desert. They've been linked to the Picts, which means painted people in Latin. Legends say that when the weather is clear and passageway is safe, the Blue Men of the Minch are sleeping. But when they're awake, that's when it's stormy and the seas are crazy, wreaking havoc on all the ships and the people traveling by sea.
So these bad things are only around when the weather's bad and the water's bad.
Yes.
But when the water's calm,
they're asleep.
When the water's calm, supposedly these creatures are sleeping. But when they wake up, they start creating the waves and the stormy weather and all that stuff.
You can read all about that and more in my book, Dave. How convenient. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, of course they don't move when the water's nice.
But this is a recent picture. It's from
right.
June of this year. So again, the Blue Men of the Minch, they're also known as storm kelpies. They're thought to inhabit the stretch of water between the northern Outer Hebrides and the mainland of Scotland.
You're making up words now, David. Are you drawing the picture of the Minch?
I have the picture, so I'll share my screen in a minute.
All right.
So it says that they're malicious and they're looking for sailors to drown and boats to sink, according to the little bit of lore that exists about these creatures.
There's always the sailors they're after. Sailors. Everybody wants a sailor, right? Like sailors. People are always after sailors. 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 Go ahead, Dave. I'll keep saying sailors. Sailors.
Let me see if I can bring up the picture.
Sailors. Sailors. Cyn, you want to say it with me? Sailors.
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 Dave, you gonna hurry up with that photo because it's getting kind of tense. Sailors.
I'm trying to bring it up.
Hey, here it is.
Okay, so this is the original picture.
All right, let me see if I can make it bigger.
They have circled where this Blue Man of the Minch is, right? So then they zoom in on it.
I hope so.
Supposedly.
Yep.
And right here, you can see it looks like a face, and there's kind of like an arm going like this. There's one other.
Oh, I see what they see. Go back up. Right go back up. Yeah. So this is I'm over here pointing like as you guys can see me pointing. So right dead in the middle, that's supposed to be a nose and a face, but it looks almost like
right here,
the Roman face, right? and then that other thing to the right of it is supposed to be the left hand coming down with the thumb. Now,
Yeah.
that does look like a person, but that is not a minch. That's a wave. That is a wave. Now, I don't usually like call out stuff. I don't do that on these shows. Why would I? But that is a wave. So wait, I thought so. So minches are the color of the breaking of the wave. They're just all white, or they blend.
I guess they blend because they're called the blue men of the Minch. So
they can't be blue because we'd see them stick out. So they can be white and greenish. Mandy.
This could be pareidolia.
Thank you.
Okay.
Get him,
Actually-
Mandy.
She's always ready with that pareidolia. Go ahead, Dave.
I mean, I do believe in that there's different things out there, but believing is seeing. But the thing is, you're meant to see faces. Your brain is meant to see shapes and faces, things that look like faces, like us. And a lot of people see that in pictures, on doors. People look at wooden doors and say they see faces in doors,
Yeah.
Anywhere on the floor, wooden floor.
I do that all the time. No, I'm not joking. I
Yeah, I do it too. And
linoleum.
I'm like, yeah,
I can see a face there. I look at wood and I'm like, that
I
could be
do
a face.
see it. I do see the face there, though. From here, I can see it. But I think it is the pareidolia.
Cyn, can I ask you something? Is it awful that the Minch looks better looking than me? Like, look at the Minch's profile. No, look at his profile. Like, look at the jaw, the strong nose, the cheekbones. He's got looks like he might have a full mane of hair, right? Like, Dave, Minches, wouldn't they be uglier or no? Am I just stereotyping Minches, which I tend to do?
If they derived from the Vikings, allegedly, they got to be pretty good looking.
Yeah, I want to fight the theory that all Vikings were good looking. We all think they're Thor. Like, not every Viking looked like Thor. And matter of fact, I'm willing to bet you 9 out of 10 didn't look like Thor at all. I'm being serious, and I don't think they were all just like broad shoulders, muscles. Vikings were big, sloppy, heavy. That heavy farm strength. That
probably missing a few teeth.
Oh, missing almost all teeth. Let's see. How would they keep them? You're a Viking. How do you keep your teeth? It doesn't happen. You got to lose them. I mean, well, maybe not. You're not eating. Well, I don't know. Then again, they get punched all the time, and they're on the open sea, salt water. I've got to go eventually. All right, I'm sorry. Back to the Minch.
So here's my thing, right? This photo is pretty detailed, right? The original photo. But when you zoom in, supposedly, like, this looks more like a painting to me than it does someone who's zoomed in on a pretty high quality photograph.
You mean so it's too beautiful looking?
It looks more like a painting to me.
Yeah. Like the colors and the shadow, and it looks too beautiful. Like, it looks less photographic, more art. And there is a weird shimmer on the brown water in the front where the seaweed would be. Cyn, you don't have oceans, do you?
No.
In your state?
I am landlocked.
Mandy, any of yours?
No, we just have lakes and ponds and rivers, and that's it.
The ocean, as Dave can tell you, if you go on low tide, there were times where you would walk maybe 6 to 8 feet through seaweed just to get to the water.
Oh yeah,
and not like good seaweed, Rhode Island seaweed, like this cigarette.
The red tide.
Yeah. Oh,
Ew.
Dave, the red tide is the worst. It's really bright. They call it that because they don't want to call it shit brown, but it's like that color, brownish red, right, Dave? And it comes up like 6 to 8. It
stinks.
Yep. That's Rhode Island's ocean, the ocean state. That's what we call ourselves because our ocean stinks. Go ahead, Dave.
I don't know. To me, I don't like again, this is a pretty high quality picture. And when you zoom in, it just looks, I don't know, this looks fake. It looks like a painting to me.
Well,
so I'm not sure how much I believe.
Take me to the photo, the original photo.
All right.
And if anyone wants to contact Dave, it's David J. Barr. I think I can't read the rest of it at yahoo.com.
No. Don't do that. That's Mike. That's not
Do
cool.
what? I didn't read the whole thing. Your name's David Barr. And I'm not showing it. So you can't blame me. You're blaming me for that. Like I'm the only one? I'm the only one that would have thought of that. I'm the only one. I'm warning you, if anything. There you go. Jesus.
All right.
Imagine you blame the guy that helped you out. What do you want me to do? Tell you flat out, hey, Dave, ixnay on the email scale. You know what I mean? Jeez Louise. All right. So let me ask you this. Why take the photo that far away?
I don't know.
Like, where's her family in that photo?
Oh, it was just a landscape picture that they took.
She just decided to turn to the right because her family had to be to the left. There's nobody there. She just decided to turn to the right, take a profile shot of the ocean.
Sure, it's pretty.
Oh, all right. I usually take pictures of my kids in the water or somebody else I know, but it's odd she turned to the right and caught a minch. You know, you don't think? A little bit, maybe a little bit. So
you think she was looking for one? She was looking for one.
A minch is a male water spirit. I almost want to say sprite, but I don't know if that's quite the correct word. Sprite. I think I made that up. Maybe I didn't. What is the lore, Dave? What's the lore of it? Like when did it start? I mean, like, or has it always been there? Is it like, because mermaids,
they don't know much. They don't know much about these things. There's not a lot of lore like surrounding them.
So can a minch be in other elements? Minch and fire?
That I don't know.
A fire minch? I know it sounds silly, but I'm being serious. You ever look at a flame and see
yeah, and pictures and things. Yeah.
So wind, air, that's the third element. Could we not see faces in that?
I think a wind minch is a fart.
If it's 2 minutes and 42 seconds. And then Mandy, back to you on wood. Would that not be an earth minch?
Yeah, sure.
In a tree, when you can see like a face in a tree?
Yep.
So are minches elemental?
There is, yes. Spirit. What do they call that? The faces you see in the trees. It's a
knots.
Elemental. Something about the elementals that you see in the tree. These faces, spirits.
Wooden elementals? Do they call them that?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
But basically, so what I'm asking is, and I know I'm getting on a long way around it. All 4 elements, can they be minches?
I mean, I've never heard of it, but I mean, could be. You have to do a little bit more digging, research it, and see.
Cyn, no research off the top of your head. Could they be in all 4 elements? You just saw one in water. I'm just saying, if they're in water, could they not be in the other 3?
No.
Because why? They're just water things?
They're wet. Yeah.
That makes sense. Dave, your thoughts on minches? Or I should say it like this, minches.
I think they're tied to the water.
But you guys have no imagination.
Because they like all the stories around them are about sinking ships and drowning people.
Maybe they haven't been caught for blowing down houses.
What's that?
Burning down houses. You know, they could be tree spirits, dryads.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
A dryad is a tree spirit. Now,
see, it's dry. It's dry.
Is a Keebler elf a dryad?
It's dry, yeah. Yep.
Is it Dave? Is it Dave?
I don't know. Okay. Is it? You tell me, Mike.
Okay. Cyn.
Yes.
So then, if the water one's dry,
no, water one's wet.
Wet.
What about boats and stuff that are in the water? You know, like what I'm saying is, what if they took one of these trees that was considered one of those dryads and it was made into a boat or something? And why couldn't it be a minch?
Mandy, you are out of control.
I got to be honest. I just
out there.
made a joke about you guys not having an imagination, and then
Well,
Mandy just showed me what an imagination can do, because
See?
she just took the wood, it got made into a boat, right? Set on the ocean, and then Mandy said, "Well, wait a minute. What about if there's a wooden boat on the ocean in the water? It can't be dry, right? So you know what, Cyn, by your definition of stuff, she's got you. She's
Yep,
right.
she does. Mandy wins.
If your imagination
Mandy
goes
wins.
that far, then I mean, yeah, I guess so.
I'm-
That was one of
yeah.
those things. Like, yeah, have you ever had someone tell it to you and you go, "I guess so." Like, I can't tell you you're wrong. I can't really tell you you're right. I don't know. Dave, anything else is on the Minches?
That's all I got on the Blue Men of the Minch.
The Blue Men. Ever see the Blue Man Group?
I have. They're awesome.
How long ago did you go?
I saw them in Vegas probably about 20 years ago.
So you never saw them in Boston?
No. The
You know,
original
Ray-
3 Blue Men owned the Charles Theater in Boston.
They fired everybody. Ray Corsini, the guitar player from our band, he worked for the Blue Man Group for about 15 years. He was on stage. He was the guy holding the camera. He did almost every friggin' show. And I got to see them like a couple of times. The thing is with those guys is that musically, they're really friggin' good. They're really good musicians. Like, they're really good musicians. That's the first part. The second part is they pull off weird athletically, like, I'm going to throw a marshmallow from here,
Yes.
3 rows, you're going to catch it in your mouth. And Ray says they practice all the time. And they constantly keep themselves ready. And they're like athletes, these guys. They have backups in case one of them's sore. They get all this stuff because between the music and the other stuff, I mean, the goofy stuff I don't really like. Like, the last thing I want is a bunch of blue men coming down to embarrass me. I get enough of that in my life. Like, I don't want to travel to a theater where they come down and they embarrass you. You know what I mean? And I'll get picked on a lot at shows like that. Like, I am a sore thumb for those guys. They're like, "Oh, we can pick on this guy." You know, I'm old. I'm not going to run after them. That kind of stuff. But anyways, Cyn, what do you got for us?
I have got serial killers, ghosts.
Cyn, you get a haircut?
I did.
It looks very nice. I noticed.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike. That was very sweet of you for once.
That's it for the rest of the year. No more.
Okay. So serial killers, ghosts. Jack the Ripper, from London, unknown birth or death date. His ghost has been reported revisiting the scenes of his crimes. And that all those was back in London in 1888. They have Ripper-themed tours now around London. Been going on for a while. And some people have reported seeing spectral shapes and cobblestones that glow red on the anniversary of one of the murders.
Wait a minute. Jack the Ripper, his ghost makes a cobblestone turn red?
Or is it the blood coming back?
So one cobblestone gets blood red?
Maybe it's one per each murder.
Are you trying to make stuff up right now?
Kind of. You're asking me to.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
The next one.
I'll roll with that.
Next one is Herman Webster Mudgett, better known as H.H. Holmes.
Oh, yeah.
Chicago. Now, he was hanged in 1896. He was 34 years old, hanged in Pennsylvania. He's been seen, of course, his castle was burned down after he was hung. And then, except for the basement torture area, that was still there, and they just put a post office on top of it. And that happened, let's see, they put the post office up in 1938. To this day, neighbors continue to report strange sounds coming from the basement of the post office. Dogs shy away from the office exterior, and employees have reported seeing ghostly figures, presumably Holmes, prowling the basement.
All right, stop.
Okay.
It's a post office. right? Post office.
Yes.
Weird noises coming from the basement.
Yes.
That seems common. When's
Right.
the last time you went to the post office, right? And then you
Yes.
tell me dogs are afraid of it.
Yes.
Not paranormal so far. It just makes sense.
I'm just reading what I found. You ready for the next one?
I'm ready for it.
All right. This one is okay. It's beyond weird to me. So this is Belle Gunnis. She is known as the Lonely Hearts Killer near LaPorte, Indiana. She died supposedly on April 28th, 1908. She was 48 years old. Supposedly died in a fire. Now she was
legal representation when all this supposedly.
Yeah, wait till you hear the why it's supposedly.
Okay.
And let's see. So she killed maybe as many as 40 people, mostly men, that she would lure with the Lonely Hearts ads. She was looking for somebody. So she had a farm, and they found bodies all over it. The place caught fire, and a body was found.
Dang.
Supposedly her, but there was no head. The head was never found. And the body that they said was her was 5 inches shorter and 50 pounds lighter. And they just let it go.
That's crazy.
Oh, wait a minute.
I told you it was weird.
I keep unplugging myself. Who? She killed all these people, and then her body was found with the bodies.
She supposedly died in the fire after they were coming after her. She said, allegedly, some people say she set the fire, others don't. Others say that she's still out, was out there after she left the farm and got away.
So they found bodies on her farm.
Yes.
And then they found her burnt body.
Supposedly.
And it was burnt enough where the head was gone.
The head was never found.
Okay. And
the skull was never found.
Then they weighed the body.
50 pounds lighter.
All right. Did they take the head off? Like, in other words, did they subtract the weight of the head?
I'm sure they had to, because it was a medical examiner.
So they had to guesstimate what her head weight was, first off.
They had to guesstimate, yes.
Secondly, she was burnt. Was she burnt?
And 5 inches shorter, though.
But was she burnt?
She was burnt. The body was burnt.
How badly? Like, in other words, did she just have burn marks? Charred. Okay. Dave, if I told you that my body was found charred and I was cut like 5 inches shorter because I got charred, and I was lighter because I'm now char instead of this, would you believe it?
I don't know about 50 pounds lighter.
Dude, I would go 100 pounds. I think char, ashes, that stuff would burn all the fat right off me. The fat would burn like blubber and just go right off me like soap. It's gone. I'm down the bones and whatever else I got for organs. I bet you those burn up. So they're all out the window. They're all crumpled like this. What do I weigh? And then inches? Come on. Most people lie about their height anyways. So secondly, that's one. Secondly, that's one. First off, here's the second. Yeah, of course you could lose height if you got charred. We're talking about charred. We're not being burnt or slightly burned. Charred, right? When you picture charred, don't you picture like all black and ash? Like that when you see a log in the fire, it's all black it's got the gray ash around it. That's what I expect this woman to look like. No, Cyn, I got to keep going because this is one of my issues. Charred is a really bad thing. Go ahead, Cyn. I'm sorry.
You're feeling a lot better, aren't you?
No, you know what? No. No, I'll be honest. I am hopped up on Of course, she was inches with no head. Thank you, Shanna. And I would think they are crazy and would need proof. Proof. Yeah, I'm hopped up on NyQuil. I'm being dead serious.
So we got to remember that she died, or supposedly this fire was in 1908.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
Come on.
Yeah. And I think charred to people in 1908 is much worse than charred would be to us in 2023. I mean, we think we're burned, and if it's never mind. I don't like
Next
that
one?
story. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay. John Dillinger died July 22nd, 1934. He was 31 years old. Supposedly, here's another one, died by gunshot from police. The reason it's supposed is because some people think that a guy was set up by Dillinger's girlfriend and the FBI covered it up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But what they see is a figure running and falling in the alleyway. So some say, yeah, it's Dillinger, and others say, nope, it's the one that was set up.
Oh, so they don't know what ghost it is.
No. But
Mandy,
it's related
get
to
on
Dillinger.
it. Mandy, get the team together. Sound the pink alarm or whatever you guys got going. Get it. Keep in the van and get on down there and let us know who is the ghost.
Hey,
Dave, we should have a game show called "Who is the Real Ghost?" And we'll be
if
like,
they got ghosts, we'll be there.
Yeah, it'll be that spirit. Let's find
That'd be
out
awesome.
who is the ghost. All right.
All right. Here's one. William Cockeyed Cook. He died in San Quentin's gas chamber on December 12, 1952. He was only 23 years old, buried in Peace Church Cemetery, Missouri.
What horrible parents to name him that.
Well, his parents actually left him in an abandoned mine when he was very young. So
I'd rather be named Cockeyed Mike.
When he was only 5 years old, they left him there.
Yeah, even worse. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'll take the Cockeyed name.
So he went on a killing spree. Texas, Missouri, Oklahoma, California, ended up in Mexico, and they finally got him. They buried him. They took him to Missouri to bury him. And his famous last words are, "I hate everybody's guts. Everybody hates mine." Rumor has it that he's in unconsecrated ground outside the boundaries of the cemetery, and a shadowy figure can still be seen standing over the grave.
Yeah. FBI was involved, though.
I'll do one more and I'll save the rest for next week. How about that?
Okay.
All right. So Charles Whitman, also known as the Texas Tower Sniper from Austin, shot by police on August 1st, 1966. He was only 25 years old and that was after his 90-minute killing spree, where he claimed 16 lives and wounded 31 others. The tower is haunted. According to some accounts, lights switch on and off, and others have reported seeing a fleeting, shadowy form that may belong to the Texas Tower Sniper.
So, a couple things on that. First off, you ever watch like a documentary on that, or have you ever watched anything on that on TV? Anybody else but me?
They're awful.
He took such a strategic position that it was awful.
He was a vet. He was a military.
I know. And where he was he was at a point where you couldn't get out of the cover you had. If you had cover, you didn't have enough time to get to the next cover, right? So people were like locked down where they were.
Yeah.
But secondly, why would an evil spirit be allowed to haunt the place where it committed its evil crime? Isn't that like giving the bad guys the win? Like, he wanted to go there to be evil and be remembered, and then you're telling me that he's going to be there for all time being evil and remembered? That's what he wanted.
That's what he wants.
He wants to remember it as a ghost too.
But why wouldn't his ghost be put in like a bathroom at like one of the dorms. No, I'm serious. Take him out of his spot where he liked it so much. Why would you let him stay where he planned to do all this horrible stuff? I have a hard
it's
time with
not
the whole
like
ghost thing.
people didn't choose that and said, okay, you can only haunt here.
Oh, so he gets to decide where he haunts after he dies.
Well, yeah.
Who said
Yeah.
that? We're all out to haunt wherever we want.
Think
after we
about
die?
think
They
about
travel
all
very
of the horrible energy that went into that area. All the trauma, all the horrible, horrible negative stuff that happened. And it just bombarded the space, and it probably gives him energy from the past trauma.
So you're saying that a bad guy could do really bad and live forever in that badness? How is that even fair or possible?
I didn't say it was fair.
Then why couldn't a good guy? I have a hard time with ghosts. I got to figure out exactly what's there, why. No, I'm being serious. Because, like, what do you mean? Like, sometimes like, there's a child that gets caught in a place where it burned down. What do you mean? Sometimes it's the guy who killed people gets to stay at the place where he killed people and be remembered there forever. Like, why would you even give him that much?
Right.
I don't get it. That's not fair. There's got to be some sort of fairness. Mandy, over to you. Thank you, Cyn.
All right. I'm going to talk about a location in Hartford, Indiana called the Blackford County Jail. Now, the reason I want to talk about this location is because it's history and some of the weird things that have been seen there. Now, this is a location built in 1875, and it was a running jail in 1995, and I'm not for sure what year they ended up closing it down. But the interesting thing is there has been seen, a elemental has been seen here. There's rumors of a gnome running around in this jail. Now, I don't have any facts or proof on that, but there's been people who have been there, investigated it. There's just been a lot of reports on this weird looking elemental, what they're calling a gnome, has been seen here at this location. Now, this location also has a dungeon in the basement.
What?
And yes, I have actually investigated this location probably about 3 times, and it is really, really creepy, guys.
By the way,
okay,
this person right here thought exactly what I was thinking. We're talking about a prison. You said dungeon, and then a gnome.
Are you sure it's not a dryad?
Look at that.
Yep. The rumor is there is an element of there. A gnome has been seen there, and that is the story. So now I don't know it to be true, but this is just what one of the stories is on this location.
But wait a minute. But isn't a gnome like a little person with like a hat? Or is that a dwarf? No, I'm being that serious. No, and I don't mean like a dwarf.
Like the yard gnomes.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So,
yes, that's what's been said to be seen here. Now,
these
I
people
don't know
are scared of a gnome. A gnome. A gnome.
It was me. I like to put on my little red hat and fly to various locations.
Dave.
Spook people a little bit. It's a hobby of mine.
It's just one of the stories that's said to be at this location. Now, personally, I've never come across anything like that, but it is pretty creepy to think, why would one of these things even be at this location? I don't know, but it is a cool location, and the dungeon thing is really creepy. I have investigated down in the dungeon, and I've actually had my law enforcement vest on. And I actually had my vest yanked when I was down there. So, I mean, there's a lot of history here at this location. And the jail part of it is not that big. I think this building's probably 3 stories. They house females there, but they only had like maybe 4 holding cells for females. And the rest was for the guys. And there was a famous criminal. I can't remember his name. It might have been John Dillinger. Might have been held there at one time, I'm thinking.
What was the place again, Mandy?
Blackford County Jail in Hartford, Indiana.
Question. What did they deem the dungeon was used for?
I don't know. Well, actually, I think the owner was saying there was something about they held I don't know. I can't remember. Maybe might have been prisoners or something down there. I don't know. I think also there, well, yeah, there is some chains and stuff hanging down there, but I think that's just for show because, it's dungeon.
Oh,
But I cannot remember why there's a dungeon in this at this
Wait a minute.
jail.
Why would the chains just be for show? They used to hang people on the walls in dungeons, if I'm correct.
Well, I do recall the owner saying those when I had seen these chains in the dungeon. He said those were not the original chains.
I would have ran out the minute I heard that. Listen, if you want some advice moving forward, next time you're in a dungeon and you're looking at chains in a dungeon and someone says, those aren't the original chains, just run. Cyn, just run.
Listen, Mike, I did an isolation in this dungeon and it was pretty freaky.
So your vest got pulled.
Yes.
Was it a low tug like from a gnome? Or was it
That's a
a
good
high
question.
tug?
I remember it kind of being right in the middle. I just got pulled back real quick and it was like right in the middle. And the weird thing was what came through my spirit box, the spirit box I was using at the time, there was a spirit that came through it and it said, it was trying to tell me, don't go in there. And I was crossing over to go towards the dungeon. And that's when I got the yank. So.
Yeah. Prisoners held by tortured by gnomes. Now, what's weird is that only on this show could a question be asked like, well, was it tugged below by like a gnome? And someone else go, that's a good question. Like, I dare you to find another show where that's exactly said. Well, was it tugged low by like a gnome? And then someone goes, well, yeah, that was a good question. Because it could have been a gnome if it's low. It could have been up high. Up high, it could have been one of those waves coming in. We don't know. We never know. Mandy, isolation, how long is that for?
I think I did the isolation maybe 20 minutes. And we were live at the time too. So everyone was watching me while I was down alone in the dark with this creepy and this thing. I mean, seriously, I was really freaked out thinking that, well, I don't know what the heck this thing is that people are claiming they're seeing. This could be something else that is just disguising itself as something like this. So the thought of that thing or whatever, all the bad things that had taken place down in this dungeon, it was really creepy.
Did you lose the how many straws you can fit in your nose contest to have to be the one to go down there? Or did you volunteer to be the one to go in?
I bet she volunteered.
I volunteered to go.
See,
no.
That's Mandy.
Why is that? Why that adrenaline need? Why put yourself in a dungeon?
Because she's the machine.
I get
there
that
you
part.
Go. Yep. There you go. Someone's got to take one. I couldn't get my sister to go down there. She wasn't about to. So I kind of wanted to see if I could get some good evidence. When you put yourself in a situation like that, you're alone in the dark. I only had one flashlight that wasn't even hardly working. And you put yourself in a situation like that, you're going to get a lot of stuff going on sometimes anyway. At least I do when I'm by myself.
Even hardly working.
Vulnerable,
Even hardly working. You didn't check the flashlight before you went downstairs? You didn't say, are these the batteries? You didn't do that trick?
It was working before I went down there, but I believe the spirits were draining my flashlight at that time. They were pulling energy from my flashlight.
Those damn gnomes.
So gnomes feed off flashlights.
All spirits.
Mike, I think that was more the spirits. Definitely.
You say that. Tomato, tomato, potato, potato. I don't know. I don't know. I want to bring one thing up. Last week's show was actually taken down by YouTube.
What?
Oh, yeah. We had a strike against us. We were discussing a topic which we will no longer discuss. you know, exactly the topic we touched, and we did not pass guidelines.
Wow.
Oh,
I thought you were
Mm.
going to say it's because of David's Elm Street.
Yeah, no. What do they care?
David's still safe.
Yeah, he's still there. Although
David's
he's sitting
mammy.
up really high. He looks like he's in like one of those cherry pickers that they use for to fix the
He does
lines
not.
outside.
He doesn't look like a gnome one bit.
Well, next to that sign, if he's going to tell me that's the actual size of the street sign, then there is a chance he may be a gnome. Because look how big the sign would be. Think about it. A sign's about that big.
Yeah.
It looks
Okay.
like it's bigger than Dave's head to his torso. So it's, you know, he's up that high, that small. He's actually like a bird.
bird.
I wanted to actually run over this really quickly with you guys. I'm going to run through the states really quickly, and I'm going to give you their worst law. Wyoming, no intoxicated skiing. Wisconsin, cheese standards are regulated. West Virginia, no lewd and lascivious behavior before marriage. That's ridiculous. Washington, it's illegal to kill Bigfoot. Virginia, no hunting on Sundays unless you're killing raccoons. Vermont, no forbidding people from putting up clotheslines. I didn't know you could forbid it. Utah, it's illegal to cause a catastrophe.
Oh, that ought to be everywhere.
Yeah, that makes no sense. Texas, you can get married by proxy.
What? By proxy?
Yeah, you can send someone to get married in your place, like you're in the military. As long as you have the right documentation.
I should have done that in my
You
first.
could have a stand-in for your husband, basically.
I should
And now
have done
standing in
that.
for my husband, Brad Pitt. Hey, Brad, let's do this. You know what I mean? Like, Tennessee, you can't hold public office if you've been in a duel. South Carolina, no seducing unmarried women. So, if you're in South Carolina, seduce the married women. Doesn't make sense. Rhode Island, biting off someone's limb could earn you 20 years in prison.
Wow.
I love Rhode Island. That's our law. Biting off someone's limb could earn you up to 20 years in prison. Pennsylvania, no battering infant children. Oh, no, my bad. Bartering. No
Bartering?
You
Even
can't
worse
trade?
even worse than battering might be trading them. What do you mean? Who barters? I'll take some corn. And some of those,
Here.
yeah.
Take the
and here's
kid.
Here's a kid.
No.
Oregon, no practicing occult arts. So, I bet
Well-
there's not a lot of the Oregonian paranormal teams. Is that a word?
Yeah, but
Oregon?
that's a lot of places.
Oklahoma, no eavesdropping. Ohio, if your dangerous animal escapes, you have to report it to authorities. North Dakota, you need permission to exterminate a pigeon. North Carolina, no meetings if members are in costume. Yeah. New York, no mask wearing unless you're at a party.
Well, okay, I get that one.
New York. New Mexico, idiots can vote.
It says that?
Yeah, for over a century, New Mexican law stipulated that idiots were ineligible to vote. In 2016, the discriminatory language, which referred to mentally disabled people, was finally repealed. They were calling them idiots and saying idiots can't vote.
Wow.
Good old New Mexico. New Jersey, no bulletproof vests while committing murder. New Hampshire, pregnant women can technically commit murder. What?
Why?
That's
What
crazy.
in the world?
I don't know what that means. Nevada, no lying down on the sidewalk. Nebraska, no marriage. No marriage if you have a venereal disease. No marriage if you have VD. Montana. Live entertainment must remain on stage while performing. Oh, wow. I would have got arrested in Montana. I'm serious. I think Dave knows. Missouri. Limitations on garage sales. It's
Limitations.
illegal to have more than 2 in a particular location during the course of 1 year. And as garage sales cannot last longer than 3 days, it must be held within certain hours. So you're only allowed to have so many a year, certain time of day, and they can only go up. Who wants a garage sale longer than 3 days?
Who wants to do it more than once a year?
Listen, I hate yard
Yeah.
sales. I hate whenever the wife tells me we're having a yard sale. It's like I'm giving birth. I imagine that's what it must feel like because I had just pains, and because say the yard sale starts at 8 a.m. There's people parked outside watching me drag tables out at 6 a.m.
Oh yeah,
Like
flashlights.
It's like Michael Jackson's Thriller. They Mississippi.
They wait for tools, video games, and like one other thing.
Yeah. And you know what? My so this is why I was told to go in the house on a couple of times. Like I'm not even really allowed to. I'm a salesman by trade, honestly, but I'm not allowed to do yard sales because I've had that person come up to me and go, "Oh, that's $2, huh? I give you 50 cents." And it's just like, no. If it was like $20 and you're like saying 10 or 15, something like that, you're trying to make a deal. That's something. But $2 and you're going to tell me 50 cents. It's like, oh, yourself with your 50 cents. You know? I had to go in the house. Mississippi. It's a crime to have more than one illegitimate child.
Oh, that needs to be in a bunch of states.
Minnesota. Bingo is only allowed 2 days a week.
What?
That's a horrible nursing home to be in. Michigan, no intoxication on the train. That's what's the point? Massachusetts, you must sing the national anthem correctly. That's a law. Imagine that.
What's the penalty for that one?
You got to think somebody screwed up at Fenway, right?
Yeah.
Right. One time. So did they arrest them? I bet you they didn't. I'd like to look into that one. Maryland, no cursing allowed. Wow. So in Maryland, if you swore at the cop, then you actually would be able to get arrested. Whereas in other states, you can swear at cops and they call it free speech. Maine, no dancing at a bar that sells alcohol unless the bar has a permit for dancing. Why would you? Louisiana, beer wrestling is prohibited. Yeah, I don't know why. Who's going to go wrestle? Kentucky, no reptiles in religious services.
Oh,
I want to go to one of the snake handling churches. I guess I won't be going to one there.
Not in Kentucky, you won't. Kansas, no ice cream on cherry pie. Oh, you Kansas. Oh, you scumbags. What are you thinking, Kansas? That's the worst one so far. Sorry, I got out of hand, but it's true. Iowa, no buying cars and RVs on a Sunday.
What?
Seems like the day to do it. Indiana, pi is actually equal to 3.2.
nuh-uh.
Yeah, they passed the bill redefining the value of pi at 3.2. What? So they changed math in. All right, Illinois. It's illegal to dye, D-Y-E, baby chicks, other fowls, or rabbits. No more dipping those baby chicks in like the blue dye. Oh, I love doing that. Idaho, cannibalism is illegal except in extreme circumstances. That scares me. Hawaii, billboards are illegal. I don't mind that one. That's preserving Hawaii. I get that. I don't have a problem with that one. Georgia, no eating fried chicken with a fork.
What?
What?
Wish I was lying about these. Florida, accidental ban on all computers. when it accidentally banned all computers in the state. A confusingly worded law designed to ban internet cafes involved in illegal gambling prompted a lawsuit arguing that the ban could be interpreted to apply to any internet-connected device. So they tried to be smart, pass a law, and it actually ended up banning computers. Delaware, pawnbrokers can't take artificial limbs. Imagine you trade in your artificial limb for money. Connecticut, town records can't be kept where liquor is sold. That only makes sense. Colorado, no outdoor sofas.
Sofas?
Yes, like a couch. California, no eating frogs that die in frog jumping contests. I don't know the distinction. Arkansas, you must pronounce Arkansas correctly. Arizona, no spitting on the sidewalk. That's not that bad. Alaska, don't waste your moose. Imagine that. Imagine that. Alabama, no silly string allowed. Good job, Alabama. That's probably my favorite one out of the. I hate silly string. You know what happens to silly string when it dries up? It's not a good time. All right. That is good for me. What I wanted to say really quick before we do wrap up is that so I put up all the songs that I use for the intros for all the podcasts, and then I put up 33 songs from literally 5 different albums of the band that I was in that Dave famously took photos of. In the last 2 days and a half, I went from, and this is like I finally just put this stuff out there. I went from like a little over a couple hundred plays to right now we're at 14,526 plays. We're big in Russia. We're big in Ukraine. Matter of fact, they give you the city in Ukraine where we've got the most views. I don't understand any of this. I am the most technologically unadvanced person in advance. What do you want to say? Person you can think of. But I'm appreciative of it. And what I like most is that I changed the name of the artist on most of the songs to legitpodcast.com. So that's a couple thousand people that hopefully listen to a song today. And we got a commercial out of it. Cyn, what would you like to say to wrap it up? What do you got going on?
I have got Tennessee Haunts and Legends Expo October 21st in Nashville at the fairgrounds. Come by and see me. I'm going to have all my books except the new one. I will not have that one. That one's going to be available on Amazon by that date, though. Woohoo! And David and Mandy have stories in that one as well.
Woo!
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Yes. So anyway, come by and see me at the Nashville Fairgrounds from 9 until 6 that day. I'll be speaking at 3:45.
Awesome.
Sounds good. All right, Mandy.
All right. If you want to watch a live investigation, you can go over and watch us on Ghost Sisters on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And if you want to book a mediumship reading, you can go over and find me on Facebook under Intuitive Medium Mandy.
Intuitive Medium Mandy. That would be. I don't know if I'd remember that one. I'm going to be dead honest with you because it took me a long time to practice Cyn Shrader Hill Author. Like, you know what I mean? If I don't say it just like that, I don't remember it. So intuitive. See, I already forgot it. Intuitive Medium Mandy. Right?
There you go.
Reader. Where was
no? What? No.
Nothing. Nothing. I said nothing. Nothing.
Okay. Anything else, Mandy?
Nope.
David.
I'm taking my gnome costume on the road. I'll be haunting various locations near you. Snap a picture and send it in.
I'll be chewing ankles and punching knees.
That's awesome.
Here I come. You know what I mean? We have right after this, we have Into the Legit Darkness with Renia Rodriguez. Tomorrow night we have Legit Paranormal Clips at 8:05. At 9:05, we have, oh my God, Legit Paranormal 101. Friday night, we hope to be bringing back Daniel Benoit with his 9 o'clock Legit Bigfoot. And then we have other stuff coming up. And you can check out all those songs by looking up King Michael or Legit Podcasts on SoundCloud. Give it a listen. It'll help us out. There's over 300 songs that I put up. Most of the band, about 33 of the band, and then all the rest of all the ones that I've been making for the last 3 years. So a lot of junk, but some good stuff, which is like, like a garage sale. Thank you guys for watching.